Just wanted to keep going with my videos, which I intend to do. Obviously, as I've been saying in my last kind of couple of videos, like the effort to kind of suppress all this information down there was in kind of fucking overdrive. We have kind of like various kind of organisations within Waterford using their fucking reach, up and down Ireland basically to kind of poison the water before any of this is really kind of looked into. You see, I uploaded a kind of email from a journalist who was willing to look into it, and you see what that all caused, because like the whole kind of situation up in Children's Group, they don't want that looked into. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to keep going on about this because I'm going to come back to it, but I'm going to point out, right? Do you think they want like a commission of investigation, right, looking into all of that? Because it's not only about who done what up there, it's also about who covered up for the people who was doing what, because they in fact knew what was going on. Now this is an ongoing thing. This is nothing new. It just happens to overlap my situation, and I'm not willing to take the shit from the Halligans like fucking 99% of people unfortunately in Waterford are. So the girls came and boys and approached me about certain situations that was going on up there, and that emitted the response from Ray Halligan, which you can see in the first TikTok video. Like that video speaks volumes because it shows the Gardaí failed to police the Halligans as they've been doing. It shows that he knew very well of a certain situation up in Children's Group. And I'll give a little bit more context on that. He implied to one of the girls that was trying to come forward that he would have her protected if she didn't kind of come forward, to let it go. That was basically what he was trying to do. And by implying that he was going to have her protected or kind of looked out for, he was implying then there was a risk. Do you know what I mean? This is really what he's doing, reverse psychology, do you know what I mean? And this is stemmed from that whole shooting that took place 30 odd years ago in Waterford, which I've also spoken about. But jumping back to Ray Halligan, like you have members of these families, you have their nieces, their nephews, sons and daughters, they're going around fucking discrediting all the girls trying to come forward, basically saying they're looking for money. So is it conceivable, right, that you have several different people of different times and they all choose to blame the same person? Do you know what I mean? They talk about the same actions that was done. Do you know what I mean? This is obviously like what was being done. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I don't want to get bogged down talking about all that kind of stuff too much because I will get back to it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important that I highlight the corruption from Anne Carey and basically me ex and our Hair Together program up in Dublin. Like I don't really have an issue with that program, if I'm being honest. It was my idea. It is what it is. Part of me is happy with the fact that it kind of worked out, being honest with you, because it proved that it was a good idea. But it was my idea. I was registered in 2018, had to get a qualification to teach, and I got that in 2019. She started hers in 2020, and I'll speak about this person's actions. And it's not about a spite thing. I just want to show the dangers of having a woman that's willing to stoop to the levels that this person has stooped to. This woman is a narcissistic kind of, I'm trying to pick my words carefully here, but she's just dangerous, do you know what I mean? Any woman that would let a community of people assume that their daughters were being abused, I think is fucking deranged. Do you know what I mean? And in the middle of that whole court case, there was an adjournment for Christmas, and she sent me down this letter speaking about my despicable actions towards the girls. Do you know what I mean? Now, that could only mean one thing realistically, as she knew like how much that was driving me insane. And when she was questioned by the judge on it, she said that she was only referring to the kids having to move. But that's the kind of level of the kind of person that we're dealing with here. This is like crazy, crazy stuff. But I'm going to talk about all of this stuff once and for all, and I'm going to show you as I kind of pursue this, because I want to bring it to a court. It needs to be taken in front of a judge. Like, you can't accept that this is going to be handled correctly by the same system which has repeatedly corrupted the situation. Do you know what I mean? It's unrealistic. Like, this is what counts, right, in the early state as wrongdoing. Concealment or destruction of information about any of the above wrongdoing or any attempt to conceal or destroy such information. Now, you have Waterford City Council, right, they had to edit 90% out of my file. But not only that, they took loads of emails out of my mother's file that my sister would have sent in. So they're obviously trying to create some kind of narrative, and they're trying to like hide certain information, do you know what I mean? Which is what they're doing. And this goes for my solicitor. She's a well-known solicitor. Her family's rubbing shoulders with, as I said, garrels and fucking mayors and TDs and all this. Like, she's caught red-handed. You can't really get away from the fact that this person's caught red-handed, because I got because I got back some of the emails and it shows that this person is basically lying. She corrupted my case, she misled our client, she misled the judge. This should be like public opinion, do you know what I mean? Regardless of what strings can be pulled in an effort to try and make all this go away. And that's what's going on here. They assume that the assumption now is that I'm under some kind of fucking pressure. We have this twit right up over us, following us from room to room. Now, my wife has spoken about this previously. This is going on every day. You will all know, you'll all be aware of the tracker on my car and all this kind of stuff in an effort to try and make me feel like I'm under surveillance. Like, I know all this kind of fucking weird gang stalk stuff. I've read up about it. Like, it is what it is. It's the cost of fucking kind of like standing up for yourself and kind of facing this kind of corruption head on. So that's the way I look at it. It's a cost of this kind of stuff. And eventually I'll prove the likes of that twit upstairs. I'll prove what I have to prove. But you have Waterford Gardaí now circling my apartment. And you've probably heard it in some of the videos, but you heard me speaking about this in kind of several videos. This is what's going on. If anyone is foolish enough to think, right, that Waterford Gardaí, along with other members of fucking politics and etc., who's involved in all this, that they want a commission of investigation, just like the whole Bill Keneally thing, where it would be revealed who knew what, when it was reported, how many times it was reported, how many times it was reported around the same person. Do you know what I mean? Not to mention how that person got their actions covered up, but another person got his actions covered up. And the same people covered up for these people. It's the same fucking handful of people. I know people think that I'm blaming everyone and anyone. I'm not. There's a handful of people pulling strings in Waterford. And it's a certain clique. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have Waterford City Council. They're up the rise into corruption in this. The documentation is there that shows that they had to remove a large amount of paperwork from my file and from my mother's as well. Then I have the reference from Joe Daniels. Now, I didn't know at the time, but I was told that they don't give references. That was an illegal document. That document alone needed to be investigated. They won't look into this. They know the corruption. They won't look into it. So I have to try and get this, and I want to put it into a court. But before I take it into a court, I will speak about the people that I'm talking about, and I will show documentation to show that these people are extremely fucking corrupt. And they can wave around whatever sexual slander all they fucking want, assisted by the likes of Waterford freewheelers and tattoos and fucking etc. Because these people have links throughout Ireland. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to cut off all kind of avenues of escape. Because they think I'm about to fucking run. I'm not going anywhere. I will see this to the fucking death if I have to. But you can tell clearly it's all orchestrated by some kind of psychology drive, do you know what I mean? You can see like it's fucking drenched in fucking psychology. This is this Dr. Anne Carey of Tussle. And my point about this person is Tussle knows this person is corrupted. She corrupted a case on behalf of Tussle before, do you know what I mean? Tussle is aware of my ex's fucking lies and her corruption. But because it's so serious, they need to try and fucking kind of more or less platform this person and push her into the kind of mainstream, because the bigger they can make this and the more convoluted they can make it, the more difficult it is to unravel. And that's basically it. So I'm going to try and first try and get a kind of the paperwork lodged into a courtroom, because I don't believe my human rights have been honoured. If anything, they've been impeded over and over again. And let's be honest about it, if I was an undocumented migrant, they would kind of bend over backwards to supply kind of legal assistance for me. But for some reason, I can't get any legal assistance. Why? Like, as for all this kind of like bullshit surveillance, I'm not sure if you have this dope banging fucking over. Every room I walk into, he follows me around room to room. Now, as I said, over time, I'll just kind of prove that for what it is. You probably know by my previous uploads the crap from the owner of that apartment and his links to Waterford Council of what was going on. And it's still going on, to be honest with you. And I'll address all that when the time is right. So rather than get into this whole kind of arguing with every fucking like demographic people, because at the end of the day, this is purposely made as convoluted as it is to cover up the corruption. It's as simple as that. There should be no issue about me taking this into a courtroom. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there's no case to answer, there's no case to answer. I'll get over it. So I'm going to try and anyway get in front of a judge. But the plan is I'm going to show the corruption first, right? I'm going to speak about the people. I'll give the names and everything. I'm okay if I have to face court or prison or any of this stuff. Like, I'm not trying to excuse myself Do you know what I mean? Or anything like that. Like if I have to face court or prison over this, that's fine. I don't have any problem whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But the day I set foot in prison will be the day I'll fucking go on hunger strike, and I promise you I won't fucking come off of that until I speak to a solicitor, until I speak to a lawyer like representing the European Union basically. Because at the end of the day, the abuse of human rights like is insane here. Even with the whole surveillance thing, keeping me under surveillance, fucking like trackers on my car and like all this kind of stuff. You're all aware of the social media. There's a social media website and they monitor my movements on the website. Now I know about all this, it was shown to me ages ago. But the abuse of human rights like involving all this is fucking grotesque, being honest with you. I know what the crazy thing about this is, the woman that organised this, Dr. Anne Carey, right, who's quite keen to put everybody's private life out there, like despite her like manipulating and fucking corrupting this situation and that situation, because this person, she herself is from Kerry. Her family doesn't speak to her because they assume she's involved with a cult. Do you know what I mean? This just happens to be the same religion that the HSC started promoting, that she was recruiting for, the Baha'i faith. Do you know what I mean? They started promoting 6 months after I started kind of speaking about this. The HSC started promoting this. And if you're promoting diversity or all this kind of stuff or understanding, you would put out like all aspects of the religion. Clearly, it was someone like who wrote this that has a vested interest, because they left out all the deception, all the lies, all the ostracization that they put you through. These people are extremely dangerous and extremely corrupt, and our health service should not be fucking promoting this. And who signed off from our HSC, from our health service, to be promoting this crap? Do you know what I mean? But I'll speak about all of that over the next kind of few weeks. I'm going to have to try and tone down the whole bad language kind of stuff, being honest with you. Because to be honest with you, I have to keep editing out the kind of bad language, and then there's so many jumps in the videos, and it probably makes me sound like I'm more erratic or irate. I am irate with certain issues because like it affected my family. Do you know what I mean? But if nothing else, it shows you. Look at how dangerous these people are. Look at the reach, the corrupting reach of these people. Do you know what I mean? Like from Waterford City Council, Waterford Gardaí. Do you know what I mean? You have a solicitor caught red-handed by her own fucking like documentation. Her own documentation caught her lying. Do you know what I mean? Because she somehow knew that someone was after deleting all my emails. And also somebody entered my apartment and took all my paperwork. Now I spoke about all this in a previous video, and I know it sounds all crazy, but this is what happened. But my solicitor, she knew that I could not gain access to my emails because she knew someone was after deleting my email. So she was free to lie at will. So she was lying, saying that the 5 years was up, so she was entitled to basically get rid of the file. I was saying the 5 year wasn't up. I couldn't really prove it because I couldn't get the emails, but I got into Google Cloud, and then I was able to get back some of the emails. And sure enough, as I've been saying, the emails showed that this woman, for some reason, deleted my file before the 5 years. And not only that, she tried to lie her way out of it by saying that the 5 years was up. And that woman is allowed to stand in front of Judge Staunton down in Waterford and feed that judge more lies after misleading her client, after misleading the judge. Do you know what I mean? And there's loads of involvement now from Tulsa. There's another woman, Mary Bird. This woman now is supposed to do an independent report on me. It was originally supposed to be Dr. Teresa Graham out in Tranmore, and it was set up by Jim Halley, who I don't have any issue now with Jim Halley, but it was set up, and my solicitor removed Dr. Teresa Graham out of the whole kind of situation. And she basically lied to me about who this Mary Bird was, saying that she not did water for Tulsa. She didn't know her, all this kind of stuff. Turns out that she had something to do with water for Tulsa. She was actually friends and associates, whatever you want to call it, with Dr. Anne Carey of Tulsa. And she was on previous cases with my solicitor. Do you know what I mean? So this is only tip of the iceberg regarding these kind of people. And as I said, the documentation is there. The documentation speaks for itself. So all of this will eventually come out, and if I have to face going to prison, like, or court or whatever, like, so be it. Like, this is the cost I have to pay. I'm willing to accept that. As for that whole crowd up in Children's Grouping, I will come back to that. I don't want to keep on fucking on about it because like there's a case kind of pending. Something I said in a previous video. They'll probably go to court now and they'll probably say that I somehow interfered or prejudiced your case, right? So you need to get your solicitor, get a solicitor, and you need to get your solicitor to pursue taking legal action against me and taking me to court. Do you know what I mean? And that way I will be kind of held accountable in the courtroom. And I'll defend myself in the courtroom. But they don't want this getting any kind of a conviction, because it will potentially open up a commission of investigation. And if that happens, the next step would be, well, who knew what? When was it reported? How many times was it reported? Was the person taken away from the demographic of the girls doing X, Y, and Z with? Let's just put it that way. No, they placed them more and more around the fucking girls in an effort to discredit the girls. That's what was done. And then the same people covered for that situation, covered another situation. Like, why would you not call this out? And they're waving all this kind of sexual shit, which was spread around. Originally, it was spread in 2016 by me ex. It was spread in 2017 by me ex, and it was spread in 2019 by me ex. All three people that spread that, they had contact with me ex in the days leading up to. She dropped the kids down for sleepovers and then spread all this shit. Woman is just kind of like unwell. Yeah, so all of this needs to come out eventually. I have no intention of giving in. I have no intention of being driven away from my home, from my family. You can socially ostracize me and my family, because this is what they'll do. They'll put it on to me family. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how twisted and evil these people are. So I'm going to have to try and go back to the start, and I'll get the documentation, and I'll show you the documentation, and I'll speak about why it's relevant, who I'm actually talking about in the documentation. Because that way then, if they deem me to be lying, they can take a case against me and bring me to court, whether it's a civil case or a criminal case. Because I would like a chance to finally defend myself in a fucking courtroom. And whether I'm the defendant or the plaintiff, like, it's kind of irrelevant to me, if I'm being honest with you at this stage. So I'm just going to leave it there for the time being. I'll be back. I'm trying to kind of not use as much bad language in my videos. And I'll and I'll try and document the progress as I go. And I'll show you how difficult it is having your human rights honoured when you're dealing with corruption within the Irish system, and those who are basically the gatekeepers of this supposed fucking democracy that we're living a part of. Do you know what I mean? These people should have been all called out years ago. You'd think they just became corrupt with this situation, with my own situation. That makes no sense. These people were corrupt before that. Do you know what I mean? They were corrupt during this. They're still corrupt now. Surely people can see this. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. And if you can share or like my videos, I'd appreciate it, because there's a huge drive in an effort to try and once and for all suppress this, because it's going on it's going into the 12th year, being honest with you. And there's certain information going to come out, which I spoke about in previous fucking videos. I was going to read the messages regarding the whole children's group link. I didn't want to interfere with that case. But if you notice, look what blew up every time you threaten to reveal the truth of what happened up in children's group link. This is what blows up. Do you know what I mean? This is the contribution from our ex-mayor, ex-minister, John Halligan, and his family. Let's be honest about it. So I'm going to leave it there now, and I'll make my videos more regular if I can. And if you can share or like my videos, I'd appreciate it. And if you can't, that's fine. Thanks. Bye.